Hello everyone, this is teacher Justina and welcome back to my channel. And if you are still new, do not forget to subscribe, like, and share for more video updates. Our topic for this video is all about cube of a binomial. So this still belongs to special products. So let us explore. Okay, so let us explore. Okay, given x plus y quantity to the power of 3, so this means that the binomial x plus y to the power of 3 can be expanded in this manner. That is, multiplying the x plus y 3 times because our exponent is 3. So this means that we're able to cube the binomial x plus y to the power of 3. And then, how do we get its product? I'm sure you still remember that the x plus y times x plus y is just simply the same as x plus y to the power of 2. And remember that the x plus y quantity to the power of 2, you remember the square of a binomial. So remember the steps in squaring a binomial. First step is you have to square the first term. This one, our first term is x. Squaring the first term plus twice the product of the first and the second, and then plus the square of our last term, which is y. And remember, this is already the product of the first two binomials. But remember, we still have last one binomial. So therefore, how do we get the final product of this cube of x plus y to the power of 3? So we simply apply the distributive property. So we are going to consider the x plus y to be distributed in the 3. So this is just the same thing as writing the x in here multiplied to x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. And there is a plus y there, so plus y. So again, this second set is already here, x plus y. And still, we need to copy x squared plus 2xy plus y squared. I am just giving you the long method, and then I'll be introducing the shorter method after this. So let us distribute. So the x times x squared is x cubed. Then the xy times the 2xy is said to be 2. The x in x will be x squared. You just write the y. And then the x will be multiplied to y squared. So this will be xy squared. Then a plus. The yx squared, this one, will be written as x squared y. And why I am writing in here? Because they are similar term. The 2x squared y and the x squared y. Next, the y will be multiplied to the 2xy, and this will give you 2xy squared. Again, the y times 2xy is 2x, this one, then y squared. And why I am writing this in line with the xy squared? Because again, they are similar. And then the y times the y will gives us y cube. So this is, it could be written in here. So therefore, we are now ready getting the sum, the vertical sum, as to get the final product of this cube of a binomial. So you just bring down the x cube and then plus. There is an imaginary 1 in there, so it's a plus. So it's understood 2 plus 1. You just copy the 3. You just add 2 plus 1 equals 3. Then you just copy the x squared y. And then followed by, again, there is an imaginary 1 there. So therefore, we have to have 3xy squared, and then bring down the y cube. Let us try see if there are terms that can be combined. So far, x cube is unique, so we have to write it as our x cube term, and then the 3x squared y and the 3xy squared. So they are not similar because the x here is squared, the x here is understood 1, the y has a 1, the y here has 2. So therefore, this is already our final product. The final product of the cube of a binomial x plus y cube. But to try see what will be the easier pattern, we try examine each term. Guys, remember, we have a power of 3. First thing is we need to count how many terms are there. We have one term, second term, third term, and fourth term. And there are 4 terms. There are 4 terms in getting the cube of a binomial. And so far, there is the presence of 3 in the second term in the third term. So where did we get this 3? This 3 is simply from our exponent of the binomial. So it says 3. So therefore, in the second term, as you have seen in our first term, we're able to cube our first term, which is x, in the binomial. And in our last term, we're able to get the cube of y, and our y is the second term in the given. And the other 2 terms are this. Remember that in the second term, we're able to square. What is that x? Our x is the first term. So, that there is still the presence of the y, but this time the y has a power of 1. Okay, again, the third term rather, the third term has still a 3 as a multiplier to the product of the x and the square of the y. Again, 3 times the first term, which is x, times the square of our second term. So therefore, if that's the case, we are going to find out as to how to get the product of a cube of a binomial. So again, the first term of the product is getting the cube of the first term of the given, and the last term is the cube of the last term. The second term is thrice the product of the square of the first times the second term. The third term is thrice the product of the first and the square of the second term. And then the last is cubing the last term. Okay, so let us try finalize as to what will be the model in getting the cube of a binomial. So simply, we have to have the x plus y to the power of 3 is just simply uh, the cube of the first term plus thrice the square of the first term, then plus thrice the first term, which is x, and the second term, which is being squared. And the last term in the product is simply the cube of the last term. Now, I just want you to try C. I'm sure you still remember finding the degree of a term in a polynomial. So in the first term, of course, how will you describe the degree? This is 3. The degree is 3 because it's a 3. It's the power of the what is this? The variable. And in the second term, again, the x has 2 and the y is 1. This is still 3. The degree of the second term is 3. And our third term is having a degree still of 3. And our last term has a degree of 3. So do not forget that in getting the power of our first and last will be like this. As you please observe, the x here is 3, the x here in the second term is 2, and then the x here is 1, and then the y is present in the second term, and in the third term, the y has already a 2 because there is a 1 there, and the y in the last term is being cubed. So the y is, or in other words, the second term is appearing on the second term of the product, and its exponent is increasing. So therefore, I hope we have that model already. And what will happen if it is a minus? If a binomial has a negative as the middle sign. So as a middle sign, okay, I'm sorry, I was able to have erase the term, and this is 3xy squared. Okay, so if ever the negative is their middle sign, thus the sign of our product is alternate. When we see alternate, the first term is positive, the second term is negative, the third is positive, and the fourth is negative. Let us try this example. Okay, so number 1. So following the model, this is a plus. So we simply cube the first term. So m cube, then plus 3, then x refers to the first term. So x refers to the first term, which is m squared, and then y refers to the second, which is h, plus 3, x refers to our first term, which is m, and then y refers to the second term being squared, and our second term is h, and the last is having the last term being cube. This is already final. Our number 2 will follow the model. Okay? Cubing the first term, d cube, minus the sign. We're able to follow the pattern or the order of the signs. If it is a minus, it should be alternate. So 3, do not forget is 3. The x is being squared. So our first term is d, so d squared. And then the second term is t. Do not include anymore the sign because we have it already. And then plus 3, x refers to the first term, which is d. Y refers to the second term, which is t. Okay. And then minus, what is y? Y is our second term. Do not include anymore the sign because we have it already finalized in here. And therefore, this is our final product in number 2. What will happen? So as you have seen in 1 and 2, we have already one base per term. Okay, let us proceed now to the second one. So this time, so it is a plus. So since it's a plus, therefore, we are going to follow this one. Okay, so x refers to our first term, 2m cube, plus thrice of what? X squared is our first term being squared, and then write the second term. Okay, plus thrice of. We are done squaring the first. This time we will not square now, but we are to square our second term, which is h. Our second term is h. And then plus our last term is h. Thus we will cube it. To final simplify, the 2m to the power of 3 is meaning 2m times 2m times 2m. That means 2 times 2, 4, times 2, 8, and m times m times m. That will be 8m cubed. And then, remember, do not multiply directly the 3 times 2 because as what we have the gem does, we are going to remove the parentheses. if we are done simplifying it. So what do you mean by 2m to the power of 2? So 2 square is already a 4. 4 times 3, it's already 12. The m will be raised to the power of 2. That will be m squared. There is an h. So therefore, you just attach the h. Plus, this time we can now multiply directly the 3 and 2 because the 2 there is as an exponent of h. So therefore, this is 6m h squared and then plus h cubed. So far, there's no term that can be combined. So therefore, this is already final. And then let's proceed to number 4. Okay, number 4, this is already uh, minus. The middle term is minus. So let's proceed. We are going to square, to cube the first term. So negative 2m, okay, to the power of 3 because we cube the first term, minus thrice of what? Thrice the square of the first term. That's it. Negative 2m squared times our uh, second term. And then plus thrice x is our first term. Negative 2m. Then y squared. Our second term is 3c. This time 3c will be squared. And then minus our second term is 3c, thus we'll be raising it to the power of 3. So what is its further simplification? Negative 2 to the power of 3, that means negative 2, okay, that understood, negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2, and that will gives us negative 8m to the power of 3. Okay, so let's proceed. Do not multiply directly the 3 and 2 because there is a 2 in there. So negative 2 to the power of 2, that means negative 2 times negative 2, that gives us positive 4. Positive 4 times 3 will be 12. 12 times 3 will be 36. So this is negative 36 m squared because there is a 1 there and a c, okay, plus, okay, do not have this finalized uh, directly as plus because we still have to check their sign in each term. So remember 3c quantity to the power of 2, this means 3c times 3c, that's 1. So this is 9c squared, this is already 9 times negative 2, negative 18 times 3, negative 18. Where did we get the negative 18? 3 squared is 9 times negative 2 is negative 18 times 3. And this will gives us negative 54. So this is negative 54, the m, the c to the power of 2. Okay, then next, so finalizing them, we are going to have its term, uh, the product its term. So therefore, by the way, there is still the last term, which is negative 3c to the power of 2. So in this case, we have to have a minus, then 3 cubed. This means 3 times 3 times 3. Thus, it will gives us 27. And since there is a 1 understood, so that will be c cubed. So therefore, this is already the final product in number 4. Okay, let's proceed to number 5. So number 5, so this is a plus, so we have to follow this model, this one. So c squared, so our first term is c squared. So c squared And since it says that we cube the first term, and our first term is c squared plus thrice the square of the first term. The square of the first term, then do not square the second term. Plus thrice, since you are done squaring the first term, this time you are to square the second term. So our second term is 1. So you square a 1. And then the fourth term is cubing the last term. And our last term is 1. Thus, we need to cube 1. Okay, to further simplify, you know that this could be multiplied, or this will gives us c to the 6, and then plus the 2 times 2 will be multiplied, so that will be c to the 4. Then that will be 3c to the 4, and 3c to the 4 times 1 is just the same as 3c to the 4. That is 2 times 2. And then the 1 to the power of 2 is 1 times 1, because remember, 1 to any power is always equals to 1. So therefore, 1 squared times 3c squared will still gives us 3c squared. And 1 cube, that means 1 times 1 times 1, will gives us positive 1. Okay, let's proceed to number 6. This time, this is made up of 3 bases in our first term. But don't worry, we still have to follow the model. So, our first term is will be cubed, but our first term is x, y, z to the power of 3 minus thrice x squared. So, x refers to our first term, and our first term is x, y, z. You square it, and then copy the second term. Okay, again, since we have already the model as if it is a minus in the middle, we have an alternate sign. Okay, and then plus, thrice. We are done squaring the first. This time we will not square it anymore. But what we will square is we will square the second term as what we have in the model. So, this is our x, this is our y squared as in the model. So, 3xy squared. So, I will just erase this. Okay? And then, we're done with the third. And our last term will be, so it's negative. And our last term is 3. Then, we will cube the 3. So therefore, remember there are ones in the basis x, y, z. So 1 times 3 is 3. That will be z cubed. And therefore, the x, y, z to the power of 2. So this will become, but remember there is a 3 there. So 3 times 3, that will gives us a 9. And this will be x squared, y squared, and then z squared, because the 2 will be distributed to the 1 in there. And then plus, do not multiply the 3 times 3 directly because there is an exponent of 3. So 3 squared is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3, it's 27. That one. So that will be 27. Then you just write x, y, z. And the 3 cube, that means 3 times 3 times 3, so 9 times 3. So that will be negative 27. This is already our final product. Okay, let us have. Okay, so for our last example, this involves a fraction. So since it's a minus, so therefore we have to follow this model. So x cubed refers to our first term to be cubed. And our first term is 1/2 to the power of 3 minus thrice the square of our first term. So our first term is 1/2. We have to square it. And then times our second term, which is r. This one, y. Plus thrice. We are done squaring the first. This time, We will be squaring our second. Okay, and then minus our last term is r, so that will be r cubed. So what do you mean by 1 half to the power of 3? Remember that 1 half to the power of 3 is just the same thing as 1 half times 1 half times 1 half. So multiplying fraction, that will be 1 times 1 is 1. And then 2 times 2 times 2, that will be 8. Okay, no more cube because we have expanded it already and multiply using the law of multiplication of fraction. Okay, that will be, okay, we have to copy first this 3 because we still have to simplify. What is 1 half squared? This means 1 times 1 is 1 and 2 times 2 is 4. So then we just attach the r and then a plus is 3 times 1. Understood that the 3 has a denominator of 1. So this will become 3 halves. And this will be r squared minus r cubed. So I think there are still terms that need to be simplified. Okay, the 1/8 will be rewritten. And then again, understood that there is a 1 in there. So we have 3 times 1 is 3 and 1 times 4 is 4. Then you just attach the r and the 3 halves r squared minus r cubed. And so far, this is our final answer, and that is the product in number 7. Guys, I hope you've learned something from my video today, and I hope you will subscribe and then like and share for more video updates. I hope you learned something from this video and continue watching for my coming videos. This has been Teacher Justina, and God bless us all.